bought yet another car that I desperately don't have time for. It was part of my friend's collection that he's been disposing of due to relocating, and it was probably one of the only cars that I was semi-interested in. I don't know why. The only French car I've ever had is a Saxo that I bought literally just to get back from Wales. It's a Renault 5 TC. I'm not that clued up on it so far, but I will be by the end of the video. It has been lightly restored. On the forums, there was someone that had it that documented the things they've done to it and named the car Rennie. Now, this car hasn't even been started for the last 3 or 4 years. It was actually dropped off and just rolled and pushed into the unit because the sunroof was leaking, which we've sorted out now. So I've got it booked in for an MOT in 5 days, and right now we're gonna see if it runs all right. I've never actually owned a car with a forward tilt bonnet. Battery on this side, tiny thing. At least if we replace it, it shouldn't be too expensive. So this is genuinely the first time I've put any power to it. That's a good sign. Must be the fan. The battery is very, very flat, so I'll give it a few minutes with the jump pack on. Not seen anything with a chocolate in it for a long time, I'm ashamed to say. Love a classic. I can never manage to hold on to one. Which is choke on and choke off. Low fuel. Might not have fuel getting up to the top right away, but we'll see. I've put some fresh fuel in, and I realised that there's an inline filter here that was completely dry. Now, I've attached a vacuum pump to the pipe and managed to get fuel up to the filter now. Which I'm hoping will mean it's close to firing now we've actually got fuel. I think I'm gonna have to cheat. I don't like using Easy Start, but I feel like the RPM isn't enough to get the mechanical fuel pump to bring the fuel up from the tank. noticed a coolant leak. As soon as it started running then it had some coolant leaking out of here. Now whether it's just because the bleed screw's being left loose, I don't know. Dripping a little bit, but at least we've got it running. Doesn't appear to be dropping. There's definitely a leak in one of these pipes. I'll try to figure that out and then fast forward to the MOT next week. So day before the MOT, ready to drop off on the trailer. So the coolant leak was just this bleed here, just the seal on it, so that's sorted out. I'm having trouble keeping the fuel. It probably needs a non-return valve. When it's left, it does struggle to start back up still. And the high idle was just one of these mechanisms sticking, which seems to have sorted itself out. So now starting straight up and idling at a normal level. So I'll drop it off for MOT and then I'll find out tomorrow evening whether anything else needs doing. The 5 is back from MOT and you could kind of say it hasn't gone to plan. I was expecting a failure on the exhaust leaking, which Jeff very quickly noticed when I pulled up at Motec, but I wasn't expecting 17 failures. Now some of them have actually resolved themselves pretty quickly. The bulbs, I don't know whether that was something to do with the stalk. Got this stalk that twists, and imagine with the car being sat for a long time, something's not quite right with it and the horn isn't working. But for what the car looks like at the top, underneath definitely doesn't match. We've got some serious corrosion on the subframe, which thankfully I think I will get away with plating rather than replacing the whole thing. Obviously it's not easy to find replacements for these, and I've got quite a few brake pipes to do. So the brake pipes, one of my least favourite things to do, but I think I've got the hang of making them now. The only issue is when you get brake fluid on the painted floor, it eats it, destroys it. I think on this brake it's lagging in operation, but this is an advisory on this brake pipe. There's a ferrule on the hose that I think's a failure. So I've ordered a few bits, or the bits that I can manage to get. One that I was a little bit annoyed about, I mean, I knew the front bumper was damaged, but this is this is actually a failure for likely to cause injury. But the car did actually come with a new bumper, so that's going to be an easy one to do. So some of these I'm going to have to wait for. I'm going to try and get a clean MOT on it, even though I really don't have time for this. I've got an engine transplant to do on that. I've still got the wiring to figure out on that project, which I haven't even released yet. I mean, some of these, so you've got exhaust has major leak of gases, and then you've got emissions unable to be completed. So obviously fixing the leak on the exhaust will sort them out. Brakes imbalanced, service brake lagging. So, you know, this is a lot of cleanup. But yeah, sorted out a few of them already. So I'm going to start with the bumper because that's quite easy to do. I already got it raised up because obviously that makes it easier to inspect it. I mean, generally speaking, it's had plating what it's needed doing historically. There's no issue with the sills. It's just the subframe, which I suppose at least that isn't the body. But it hasn't had an MOT in 6 years, so anyway, we're going to keep it on the road. We're going to get it back with a clean MOT, ready for someone to enjoy for the next 2 years until it's tax exempt, tax and MOT exempt. The horn fixed, what it was, connection here wrapped in tape, corroded under the tape, dipped it in acid and straight away sorted the connection out. So I'll solder that and seal it properly. It's been about 5 days working on the car now, and it just keeps getting a little bit worse. I will get through it, but it's not been easy. I've been having to wait for parts all the time and then finding out I need more parts. And I think something that's caused a bit more of an issue is the fact that everything's been painted, but it's been painted over rust, which has made it difficult to get some of the bolts off, and I think is what is responsible for the subframe rotting. It's just sealed in moisture and rust and caused it to rot. I've done all 4 brake hoses because they were only a tenner each, but typically the one that was actually a failure took longer to come than the ones that I didn't even need. I've done all the brake pipes, which I've been having a good laugh at myself about because I really hate doing them and I think they look quite hilarious. So whoever gets this car, you better excuse the state of these pipes, but it's the first car that I've ever done every single pipe on, and I don't really enjoy doing them, to be honest, but they do the job. New hoses, as you can see. So obviously we're working through all the advisories as well. I've still got to find a new hanger. I've got all the components to fix the exhaust. Well, something that I am really quite disappointed about is one of the advisories was the CV boot. So I've gone to do it, but I've struggled like hell to get this CV joint off, so I've removed the entire shaft. Now, when removing the shaft, one of the bolts that came out had been helicoiled or thread serted, whatever you call it, so they've been drilled out, so possibly over tightened or cross threaded or whatever, but they've had to be drilled out. But the worst one is likely whoever had to drill those holes refitted the drive shaft with one of the knuckles completely missing. So I'm kind of glad that I've taken the drive shaft out, because I'd hate for someone to have got this car and thought that I would do something like this. So this has been a difficulty of ordering another drive shaft. obviously no motor factors stock it. I've had to cross-reference with the help of GSF and then Parts in Motion. I've managed to get an SKF part number, and I'll be able to order that for about 70 quid. I've no idea what I've spent so far, but obviously I've done a lot more than is required. I was doing the bottom arms. So got brand new bottom arms here, they're only 30 quid a piece. And even though they weren't an advisory, I noticed that the bushes on the anti-roll bar weren't in a great condition. Let's see if I've got the one. Is it still on here? Yeah, so you wouldn't notice that on the MOT because that was clamped round, and obviously if there isn't excessive movement it isn't an issue and you wouldn't see the damage. But I can't put it back together like that. I can't leave it in that state. And yeah, CV boots. Also the steering rack gaiters. They've turned out to be another faff. I had some universal ones from when I had a Citroen Saxo years ago. Never ended up fitting them. But I've taken off the rack gaiter and then noticed that there's this like breather pipe that's part of the gaiter. So let's see. Oh, let's see where I've put it down. Right, so it was there all along. You see why it was an advisory, or was it a failure, that one? Steering rack gaiter missing or no longer. Right, so a failure, right. But yeah, I can't use a universal one because it's got this weird sort of breather pipe on the side of it. So I've ordered both of them, as I might as well. And obviously I've ordered the track rods because I'm taking them off to do the gaiters, so might as well. It looks like the breather pipe goes from one boot to the other, which is quite clever really, because when one opens, the other one closes and it transfers the air across into the other boot. So hopefully it won't take me too long to get a new drive shaft. I've got the bushes, rack gaiters, I think that's it. I've got them coming, and I'll add another update when I've actually got some of the work done. So I ended up buying new calipers, as unfortunately I broke one of the nipples on the side that wasn't binding, but I thought I'm not going to replace one caliper and not the other, so I've replaced both. Got the welding completed. I didn't stand a chance of doing it myself, so thankfully I got a friend to do it, and I'm really happy with it, to be honest. I don't think they're overly impressed with the result, but given they don't usually work on cars, and I certainly couldn't do anything anywhere near as good as this, it's definitely done the job. So just give it a paint up, and then I'll be able to fit all the parts, everything, all new. Bottom arm, need another track rod end. This is the original one, but the one that I bought, I don't know whether it's not being made correctly, the thread's not deep enough or what, but I can't get the nut on and I can't screw it into the tie rod. And the other side was really tight. And this is a Febi part as well, so I don't know what the deal is, whether it's incorrect or manufactured incorrectly, I don't know. This is where we stand right now. So everything on the failure sheet and advisories has been sorted. Obviously, I can't put ticks next to the braking balance and the emissions because I don't know whether I've fixed them until after submitting it. As usual, I've ended up buying even more parts. This is one of the exhaust hangers, which was just an advisory. I sorted them out. So just there. The subframe, got it all painted up nice. Really impressed with it, with the paint on. Really happy with that. And yeah, so what happened with the brakes is, despite the fact that they looked exactly the same, the old caliper and this new caliper, it turns out there's a difference between the 1 litre and the 1.4s / diesels. So what I had to do was I had to swap these sliders. Now this is more to benefit the future owner of this car. I'm hoping that they'll obviously see this video, because obviously there's some complications with the parts that are fitted. Got these new calipers and thought, oh, the discs are the same size, so surely the pads will be the same as the other ones. And this is what happened. It's I've never seen anything like it. It's got these offset pads, so the pads are different. Well, they're not different, but they fit in the other way depending on which side they are of the disc, and they're offset. Whereas, so they're exactly the same width as the ones that should have been correct, but they have this sort of offset side. And then to top it off, obviously I haven't put the grease on these because I've just left these ready to show. But yeah, they slot in differently on each side. And then it turned out that the caliper is actually wider. This area here that the pads slide on, what locks the pads in is a piece of metal that slides in here, and it's a different length on the bigger caliper. So I was fitting that, and obviously it won't lock, so I had to get a fitting kit as well. Unfortunately, Bosch do a fitting kit and it was only £8. I've already fitted it on this side of the car. So I've got a clip that goes in on both sides. This is the kit. And that slides in that gap, if I can do it with one hand. There we go. And then clipped on both sides, holds the pads in position, and then some springs go over the top and hold them so the sat, there's no movement. Another thing, I'm kind of gutted I forgot to show it off the car, but this new drive shaft, I was chuffed to bits with that for £67, SKF. Yeah, this I really hope that this goes to a good owner that will use it and appreciate all the things I have done. It's sort of making me gutted that I can't do more, that I couldn't replace the subframe and do more to restore it overall, but I suppose at least I'll be leaving something for the next owner to do. Just replacing the gearbox oil as well that came out when we did the drive shaft. I still need to service it, but so we'll get it through the MOT first. Today's the day we find out if all this work has paid off. Got it booked in for another MOT. Obviously no retest, it's been about, must have been 5 weeks. But obviously we've got a nice stack of boxes. And a lot of parts removed, some required, some just because I couldn't leave them. But yeah, see later in the day, see if we've got the clean MOT that I wanted. Just started it up for the first time with the exhaust repaired. I just can't believe how quiet it is. Beautifully smooth. So this is what I've been working for. A piece of paper that actually means something. A clean pass from Motec and Gould. And I'm chuffed to bits. It's taken a lot of doing, it's been about 5 weeks. But someone is definitely going to get a bargain no matter what they pay, because there's no way I'll be getting my money back that I've put into this car. Glad to finally get to drive it. It's not half as terrifying as I thought it would be. It's so comfortable, just absolutely floats. I haven't been over 50 yet, but I'm sure it'll be fine. And I think what this car deserves is someone to take it over to France, which I would have loved to have done. I was only in Germany last month, but this car wasn't ready and probably wouldn't have been ideal for the trip to the Nürburgring, but hopefully someone will do that in the future. Brake horsepower. That's 50. So yeah, I'm absolutely chuffed with this car. It's a real shame that I can't keep it. 2 years off being tax and MOT exempt, but that's for someone else to enjoy now. So if you've managed to watch this from the beginning, or you're the new owner, thank you very much for watching and buying the car. And hopefully it's given me a good taste of doing projects in the future like this. I'll do a bit of a better job, hopefully. I know that my brake pipes leave something to be desired, but hopefully people can appreciate how much effort I have put into this, and it's been in between other projects that I've got on the go. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.